Hello again everybody, back with another video. This one called No Freedom Until You Are Vaccinated. And it leads on nicely from the last couple of videos that I've posted on YouTube. Whether this one will stay up, I've probably called a Polly Puppet something I shouldn't, but let's see how it goes. So let's go on with the video.
The policy of social distancing will be needed until at least the end of the year. And any thought of a return to normal in the short term is totally unrealistic. That's the forthright warning from the government's chief medical advisor, who explained that there was only an incredibly small chance of a vaccine or treatments being ready for use this year. He spoke as the latest figures were released, showing 763 deaths were recorded in hospital across the UK in the last 24-hour period. That brings the official total so far to more than 18,000 people, without counting deaths in care homes and the community in England and Northern Ireland. So we start tonight with our science editor, David Shuckman.
We've been warned repeatedly of a long haul, that the momentous restrictions to try to contain the virus cannot be lifted soon. And now we're learning more about what that really means. Everything hinges on a massive research effort to try to develop vaccines, to create immunity, and also drugs to manage the disease. And at the moment, we don't have either.
Well, that's not correct for a start, because we don't need either, because this is a shitty hoax. And coronavirus, COVID-19, the disease, the vaccines are all fake. And the narrative coming from the British government, I'm sure it'll be echoed across the world, is complete freedom, life as you knew it. Well, it will never be the same, I'll tell you that for now, but life as you know it is not going to happen until they pump a vaccine into you and then give you some kind of RFID chip or some type of ID card with a radio frequency ID chip in it that will carry your vaccination status and also allow them to track you as you move around the country. Without it, you'll be a social leper and you will not be able to travel or do anything. And just to show where a lot of this is coming from, I'll let Bill have a little say. Take it away, Bill.
The tools that are going to reduce deaths, the drugs, that's a global thing to get those out. And the thing that'll get us back to the world that we had before coronavirus is the vaccine and getting that out to all 7 billion people.
So at today's government briefing, the Chief Medical Officer for England said that social distancing would have to continue while we wait for those vaccines and treatments.
So everybody is trusting this lying, deceiving piece of shit here. A guy that looks like his pastime is going around the streets looking for paintings of rainbows in windows. Now, to understand what that means, you will have to watch the video that I mirrored by For the Love of Truth, and he'll explain what that means in there. But there you go. If you do not understand what's going on here, this is going to go on and on and on until they get a vaccine. Businesses will be shut, people will be out of work, and the economy will be fucked.
Until we have those, and the probability of having those any time in the next calendar year are incredibly small, and I think we should be realistic about that, we're going to have to rely on other social measures, which of course are very socially disruptive, as everyone is finding at the moment. But until that point, that is what we will have to do, and it'll have to be the best combination that maximises the outlooks. But it's going to take a long time, and I think we need to be aware of that.
It wouldn't take so long if the the UK people were to wake up. But unfortunately, I can't see that happening. But if they did wake up and they went out and objected to all this nonsense and this tyranny, then maybe it would end a lot more quickly. I don't have much confidence in that. But people need to realise that these guys are not there for your interest. They're there to fuck you about and make more and more money for large corporations. That is what they want. They want you controlled. 1984 Orwellian society is coming. It's probably already here, guys.
Professor Whitty pointed to this graph to show that even though the rate of deaths is falling in Britain and in other countries, it's a very slow process.
It's as fast or as slow as they want it to be, because they are making these figures up. UK total death rates normally per day is around 1,600. The max we got up to is around 900 and something. And if you are taking people who've died of a heart attack, giving them a test where 8 out of 10 people can be false positive, and then saying they died of COVID-19 with a dodgy test and not the underlying cause of death. They can do what they like.
This disease is not going to be eradicated. It is not going to disappear. So we have to accept that we are working with a disease that we are going to be with globally, this is a global problem, for the foreseeable future. If people are hoping that it's suddenly going to move from where we are now in lockdown suddenly into everything's gone, that is a wholly unrealistic expectation.
Where we are now in lockdown, suddenly into everything's gone, that is a wholly unrealistic expectation.
Quite an evil smile, that one, but it's there. Did you see it? He couldn't help it. That's the problem when they know what they're saying is a pile of bollocks. They can't help but smile. It's called duping delight.
We're going to have to do a lot of things for really quite a long period of time. The question is, what is the best package? And this is what we're trying to work out.
What that means is learning to cope with the disease rather than trying to beat it. And mass testing is a vital step to doing that, to know who's got it and where it's spread. Using apps to track people's contacts will help work out how the virus is being transmitted so any future outbreaks can be isolated.
Well, I won't be having one of their shitty apps, that's for sure. They can get lost. But it won't be on the phone for long, because not everybody will take one, not everybody will be able to use one. It'll end up on some kind of ID card that you carry, or something that you have put inside you that has a radio frequency ID chip in. They'll be able to track you and record the fact you've been vaccinated.
For the moment, the scenario of quiet streets is set to continue, and the challenge for the government is that every option for easing the restrictions carries the risk of a resurgence of the virus. So right now it's hard to see when, or indeed if, we'll get back to normal.
Was that a Masonic hand sign there, guys? Not sure, it did look a bit suspicious. Did you see it, guys? But it just shows you how coordinated the BBC and the so-called government with the Polly puppets are. This is all interlinked nicely, all a combined concerted effort to hoax you into taking a vaccine and losing your liberties.
I think our restaurants, if we do open them, I think they will be fairly profitable, and with our bars, I think it would be impossible to be profitable. The capacities of the bars and restaurants will be reduced so much by the social distancing measures that I think it will force us to be closed rather than open. I think we'll lose less money being closed than we will being open.
And tonight among the public we found disappointment but also a sense of resignation.
It's not nice, but we have to do it, because otherwise the virus is going to be bad for the people, you know.
I think we've got to do what we have to do. If you've got parents or grandparents, then frankly you've got to look after them.
It does seem a bit extreme, but if it's necessary, maybe we have to go that way.
The struggle against the virus is exacting a very high price. Vaccines and treatments can't come soon enough, but no one can predict when we'll get them. David Shukman, BBC News.
So if you're going to take this lying down and roll over to all this, it's going to go on and on and on until you are virtually, well, compulsory vaccinated, or you need a vaccine certificate or something on your RFID chip to tell you you've been vaccinated before you can get on a plane, go to a bar, you name it. That's what's happening, guys, if you roll over and take this. So that's the end of this video. I think it followed on okay from the last two videos I've posted. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, goodbye.